Okay, welcome everybody to the channel. So what I want to do today is show you all a little trick that I've done for a set of headers to fit a Gen 5 LS or LT engine. So today we're going to show you how to take a cheap set of LS headers and make them fit a LT Gen 5 at a low cost. Okay, so what I'm doing is fitting a set of LS headers, turbo style, to a Gen 5 LT1, LT4 head. Most of you may know or may not know that Chevrolet changed the bolt pattern from LS to the LT Gen 4, Gen 3 and Gen 4, their style, to the Gen 5, they changed that up. So what we're doing here is the first set of headers, changing the bolt pattern so they'll fit. And it looks like we've got three almost done, and going to work on the other two. I'll have to weld a little stand on these, and these three on the, I work started off on the ends, drilled the hole in the center, and then two here. So I'll work on the first one, then we'll start with another final version on the next header, see how it goes. So yeah, it's pretty easy and save you a lot of money. And a few people are making the headers for Gen 5s, LT1, LT4 heads, but they're typically a long tube for a Camaro, Corvette style. These were fairly cheap from Jegs and Summits. Got them for $2 $200. And this is the only mod we have to do to make them work. All right, see you later. All right, so I've got the 3 bolts slotted and then put in the header to match the head here. So 1, 2, 3. Start with the end ones first, makes it a little easier. Then you can just drill the center one where you need it, and then you can fall back on the other 2, which is here. And then what I'm going to do is take these 7/16 nuts, and I've cut it. You can see where I've cut it here. And so that would go in there like that, but you can see it needs to go up a little higher, so I'll go and grind these back a little more to get the bolt to go on up. So once I get those in position, I'll TIG weld that up, hold it with a bolt, TIG weld it, and then dress it off. So let's go do that. Okay. All right, so what I'm doing here is making a shim for behind the nut. Poke a little hole, stick it up there, so now the bolt's got a spacer, keeps it off of it a little bit, so after it gets welded, it can have a little bit of room to pull down with. That's too long. So basically, I just stick the nut on there. Just get it to where it's snug. Take my little screwdriver and I can push it over and get my gaps so my welder can get in there. Welds like that. And I knew I wanted a gap, the gap that I wanted before I stuck it up there. So move back this way just a little bit. Just snug it down. I'll put a little tack. Move that one back out of the way. All right, let's go do some welding. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, so we welded. So we had our 3 bolts that was in a straight line, and then we went and welded the 2 nuts down. I had to cut and then weld those in. And you can see I've smoothed them out a little bit. We'll go back and touch them up a little more. But so they should be lined up. It looks good. It was a 7/16 nuts, notched, welded. And you saw me there welding the. Had it on the header. I tacked them on with the header on the head. Hold them straight. So that feel good. And it should tighten up. Yep. There we go. So there is your LS turbo header, or a matter of fact, any header, really LS would fit. LT head, 2014 up Gen 5, by making the modifications that we made. Slotting, welding nut, drilling a hole, welding nut, and slotting. Didn't have to do anything to the tubing or cut the flange or move any of the tubes at all. So, all right, so we'll get on to the next one and see what happens. Okay, everybody, I just want to get back with you on the second head and header. I just finished it up, and I just want to go over kind of what I did on this one. Really not a lot from the first one, but let me unbolt it from the head here. You can see, well, before we do that, if you want to get real closer, I can show you. So this hole on the end holes, this one just like on the other side. So on each end, these holes had to be moved all the way out to the header flange, which you can see they're right out to the edge, which there's still enough meat there to do plenty of holding, clamping. Then this bolt here, and then the 4th bolt is the same. I had to notch up into the flange, and then I welded a 7/16 nut, TIG welded that in there, and just that's to help hold that in. I probably could have just notched it, but I like that nut. You'll see it once I get it off. You'll see this nut behind the bolt. And then on the 3rd one, or the center bolt here, it's just drill. You just locate it and then drill in here for this one. No big modification other than drilling the hole. All right, so let me get it off and we'll talk more about it. Get my weld in there, place the header on the head, and then bolted it with a bolt, and then tacked it, and then come back and took the bolt out and welded it up. So 2 of those, not a bad job. And then the last one was the center hole. So these were originally LS holes, but I went back and just spotted in, located my center hole, and just drilled that and lined up good. So there you go. Cheap set of headers for Gen 5 2014 and up LT engine. So hope you guys can use that, and maybe somebody can save a little money. We'll catch you next time. Thanks.